All right, let's broaden out our conversation a little bit with Maryland Democratic Congressman and ranking member of the Judiciary Committee, Jamie Raskin. He joins us now. Congressman, thank you very much for being here.
Delighted to be with you.
So you're there. You're on Capitol Hill. You're going to be in the room tonight in the chamber. Many of your colleagues have opted to skip this speech. Why have you not?
Well, I had invited Skye and Amanda Roberts to come with me, and Skye is the brother of Virginia Giuffre, who is, the leading voice as an Epstein survivor in calling for truth and justice. And she took her life, but Skye and Amanda are here to stand for her, and so I invited them to come, and they preferred to come to the State of the Union address rather than go to the other events, at least at the beginning, and we'll see later on in the evening where we go. But I think we've got tremendous unity in our party to stand strong with all of the Epstein survivors to demand truth, justice, and a complete release of all of the files tonight. And nobody's buying any of Donald Trump's economic hocus pocus anymore. 3 out of 5 Americans reject all of that. And so, maybe he can come on and talk about the stock market or something. But people know that the cost of living has increased considerably since he's taken office, and they simply have no plans for working middle class Americans.
Congressman Raskin, Major Garrett, it's good to have you with us. Sticking with the Epstein matter for just a second, some of your colleagues have said they would like to have Merrick Garland, the former Attorney General under President Biden, in to ask him why their Justice Department didn't do more on the Epstein matter. Would you support that?
Sure, if they want to have Merrick Garland come in, no problem. But of course, Merrick Garland's Department of Justice, which of course was independent from President Biden because President Biden respected the independence of the law enforcement function, actually brought the charges against Ghislaine Maxwell and succeeded in doing that. And they were continuing to work on the co-conspirators. So when the Republicans say, how come nobody was demanding release of the files then? It's because it was an active case. When Donald Trump got elected and Pam Bondi became Attorney General, the first thing they did was they fired the lead prosecutor in New York in the Southern District in charge of the case. Maureen Comey demanded the entire file and then declared that the investigation was over. So at that point, everybody said, well, if the investigation's over, then obviously you can release the files. And that's why we had bipartisan support to do it. Now, Donald Trump was fighting it up until the very end when he saw that we were going to be able to pass this overwhelmingly on the floor. And then he decided to run out and get in front of the parade and say he was for releasing it. But this whole thing about Merrick Garland is an absolute diversion and a distraction. And what we really should be talking about is, when will Pam Bondi release the other 3 million files? Why are they being withheld in total contradiction to the law that we passed on a near unanimous basis in Congress?
Congressman Raskin, Bob Costa, we all know you are a congressman, Democrat from Maryland. You also are a former impeachment manager in the House of Representatives. You are someone who's a constitutional scholar and legal professor. So answer me this. Look ahead. This is all about the midterms tonight. Can the president get his party on track? Should he not be able to do so, the Democrats could win power. Are House Democrats right now behind the scenes talking about possibly preparing articles of impeachment for early 2027 should they win back the House?
No, nobody's talking about that. We're talking about winning back Congress and cutting this reign of terror and lawlessness in half. And I was just out in Oregon. I was in the state of Washington. I was in North Carolina. I was in New Hampshire. Democrats are on fire everywhere. And I think that the people of Minnesota have demonstrated to us the right way to counter this regime of lawlessness in the country, which is everybody needs to be out every single day fighting to tell the truth, fighting for justice, and fighting for progress in the country. The Republicans are the party of chaos and disorder, and the country wants to move forward. And that's the assignment of the Democrats. And we've got to make sure that we're a big enough, a strong enough, and a focused enough party that all of these defecting Republicans and independents can come over to us.
Hey, Congressman, it's Tony DeCopel again. I want to ask you a question going back to the visuals of tonight, the dozens of Democratic lawmakers who are not going to be in the room. Every time there's a applause shot, a shot of the chamber. People at home are going to see what I presume are going to be empty seats. And I wonder what that look is going to be like for the Democrats. Speaker Giuffre said, you've got two choices here to members of his party. You can sit there in stony silence, or you can skip the thing entirely. And a lot of people skipped it entirely. Do you think that's a winning strategy?
Well, there is a third strategy, of course, which is you can go and fall asleep. And that would be the sincerest form of flattery to Donald Trump, because that's what he does in public meetings. But look, we've heard that the Republicans are going to try to send in interns and staffers to occupy the seats of Democrats who are not present tonight. I think all of these, little games and antics are somewhat beside the point. This is a failed presidency. Donald Trump promised to lower costs and inflation on day one. We are a year into this thing. Inflation has gone in totally the wrong direction when we're talking about housing, when we're talking about groceries, when we're talking about utilities, you name it. And meantime, there are Americans being shot down by his lawless masked ICE agents all over the country. And so there are millions of people involved in the No Kings movement, millions of people across the party spectrum, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, who are demanding a return to government as the instrument of the common good of the people, as opposed to government in pursuit of private self-enrichment for the guy who got in there. Donald Trump has made more money in his first year in office than every other president in American history combined made. He has made at least $1.5 billion. It might be as much as $4 billion. I heard a Republican say the other day that he was at the White House and was told by one of the Trump kids that they're going to be the richest family in America when this Trump administration is over. And that's obviously what their goal is. It's got nothing to do with the welfare of the American people. That's the job of the Democratic Party.
All right, Maryland Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin. Congressman, thank you very much.